With the Boston Celtics coming up with an important off-season, all eyes have been on superstar Jayson Tatum and his injury, but we have some massive Jaylen Brown updates to get into today as the superstar spoke out on his trade rumors that have been circulating post the Boston Celtics being eliminated from this postseason. So we're going to dive in and we're going to explore what did Jaylen Brown have to say about this and explore why he is so important to the city of Boston as well. We'll be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I am Bruce Veliz, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love for Patrick and I on these videos, which is super appreciated over these last couple of weeks. The last video absolutely smashed, so we appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving us down below in the comment section. And I want to know your guys' thoughts on this video here today. So let us know your thoughts on Jaylen Brown down below. And without further ado, we're going to dive in and get into this video at hand. So make sure to grab that snack and let's get into the news, as this is some interesting stuff to be really diving in and talking about, revolving around the superstar Jaylen Brown. As once again, I mentioned that he spoke out recently in Boston here and talked about his name amongst those trade rumors that we have seen already. And if we want to dive in and look at this report, we can see that there was an article written, Jaylen Brown speaks out strongly amongst his trade rumors. And despite those trade rumors circling around him, Brown doesn't seem to be worried at all. He spoke out with a strong message about how he viewed Boston, and while speaking in an interview with NBC Sports or with NBC Boston 10, he did not hold back about his thoughts on the Celtics and their current position with this team, saying, "Boston is home," he said. "I've been here for 10 years of my life, and even though sometimes online or in the media there's a lot of noise, once you go out in the community, it's a lot more of love and genuine connections," and he feels safe in this city staying here. We all know that Brad Stevens had a post-conference as well when the Celtics got eliminated. In his press conference, he stated that Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum are this core, and even though he didn't give really any specifics on this team, it was majorly mentioned that he is going to be sticking around with this team, which is absolutely huge. As we all know, with Jaylen Brown, he's so important to the city of Boston, a really sentimental piece, and one of those rising stars as, you know, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP and reigning Finals MVP. We all saw in Game 5 of this Boston versus New York Knicks series that he can put this team on the back and hold them over, even with Jayson Tatum out. And I expect the Celtics team to do the same this offseason, really keeping their core of Derrick White and Jaylen Brown core together and trying to add new pieces around them to fill in the holes for Jayson Tatum, and then ultimately trying to reset with that core. I think that is really great for Jaylen Brown and for the city of Boston. We also saw Jaylen Brown spoke out about his injury as well. He said he's getting a lot of doctors and he's going to get evaluated and see the potential for surgery versus no surgery, and wait to speak to the Celtics organization about it. For now, it's just rest and recovery, where he's taking a step back from a long season. Mentally, there was a lot of stuff going on. Only time will tell, but Brown loves the city of Boston and clearly wants to keep playing for the Celtics. Fans will just have to wait and see what the team decides to do. And we all know the Celtics are basically a closed door with all their trades and acquisitions. The Kristaps Porziņģis acquisition was out of left field. The Jrue Holiday acquisition was out of left field. The Celtics are not going to make these things publicly known or really speak about to the lengths of what they're realistically going to do with this team in the foreruns. That's why Brad Stevens at that post-press conference really held back from any questions and really just tried to say the minimum about the team until we get towards the draft, until we really explore what this team's going to be doing in free agency and in the trade market with some of their contracts. And as you guys have seen with the reports, the fake trade rumors, people just throwing stuff out there with proposed trades, there's just a lot to go with this Celtics team, all due to the fact that they're in the second apron. They're going to have to restrict some salary and obviously try to save to bring back some key free agents, or potentially just in general shed some salary to get underneath these restrictions here to kind of make it a little bit easier in building the team alongside Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But we'll have to see what the Boston Celtics do in that regard. But Jaylen Brown, like I mentioned, not only loves the city of Boston and was a great piece for the city of Boston, but makes sense staying in Boston ultimately. And I would agree with Jaylen Brown that keeping him and this team is great, but this is really great as well for the city of Boston and why they should keep Jaylen Brown. And if we're going to dive in and look at this here, Noah Dalzell for CLNS Media for Celtics blog for Hardwood Houdini did a fantastic job, a fantastic piece here, where she went to the 741 pop-up in Boston and got to see fans interacting with Jaylen Brown at his meet and greet. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fourfold reason why Jaylen Brown needs to stay. We all heard Jaylen Brown in this quote where I just mentioned, right? There's a lot of noise, but once you go out in the community, it's a lot of love and genuine connections out there. And Jaylen Brown made sure to get that love and genuine connections with the fans and give back to them. Noah Dalzell said she's attended countless meet and greets. And I want you guys, if you haven't already, to go read this article that she did because it's a fantastic job. And even to watch her podcast on You Got Boston because she has, some great details on what her experience was like at this meet and greet. But she said, like I mentioned, that she's attended countless meet and greets throughout the time that she's been as a Celtics reporter. And Jaylen was absolutely amazing at his event yesterday. She said he gave fans endless time and made sure that fans were obviously getting to get that genuine connection. Apparently, Jaylen Brown was only supposed to be there for a little bit, but with the rain, his flight had gotten delayed. And Jaylen Brown said, you know what? Since the flight got delayed, I don't care. You guys can spend as much time as you want. And there was a DJ trying to usher people, trying to make it a little bit faster. And Jaylen Brown said, no. Let them take all the time they want. If they want 5 minutes, if they want 2 minutes, let them have their full-on experience. And that's what you have to appreciate from a superstar in Jaylen Brown. Not only does he does these things for the Boston Celtics on the court, trying to bring championships and trying to be his best player, but off the court as well. He's a great human being and one of the most inspiring in Boston in trying to build this community and changing this culture. And you got to appreciate what he does for the city. She also mentioned that Jaylen Brown is leaning towards spending his offseason in Boston for the first time in his career, saying that he's just trying to make this connection around the city and he wants to be available for the city of Boston, which I love to hear once again. It just goes to show you how much JB really appreciates the city, how much this city really means to him as they, did draft him from California, at the top 3 pick that many Celtics fans did not think was very worthy of selecting of Jaylen Brown, and he made a name for himself, was able to build his own community and build himself as a human being in this city. So he really does appreciate what the fans have been able to give him, and I appreciate Jaylen Brown for all what he does for the fans at this meet and greet. If you were able to attend, if you got to meet Jaylen Brown, let me know your thoughts on how that was as well, because that must have been absolutely amazing. But once again, not only does Jaylen Brown show on the court how important he is as a Boston Celtic, but off the court as well. And this is why Brad Stevens makes it known and sentiment that he is part of this core alongside Jayson Tatum, and that there's going to be no need for the Celtics to even possibly even bat an eye to trade Jaylen Brown, and then unless they're absolutely wowed with an immaculate offer that is presented to them. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What would you guys like to see with Jaylen Brown? Ultimately, I do believe he is going to be staying in this green and white going into next season as that #1 star alongside Derrick White. We may see a Jrue trade, we may see a Porziņģis trade, we may see a Hauser trade to lower some salary, but I do expect this main core to stay intact. So once again, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know how you guys ultimately feel about this Boston Celtics team. We're going to have daily updates coming for you guys on this channel with the offseason getting into full swing with all the reports and rumors. So if you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm Bruce Veliz signing off. Have a great rest of your day, and go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everyone.